Complex systems rarely fail from external attacks. They fail when foundational components misalign and tear apart under the stresses of their own weight. The exact same structural failure destroys technology products when founding teams draft their core strategy documents in organizational silos. We call this strategic drift. It happens when a company's guiding documents aren't cross-referenced, causing the product's identity to fragment before a single line of code is written. Take our case study subject, LedgerLite, a bookkeeping tool built to serve freelance consultants. LedgerLite's founders drafted their 3 core strategic documents in entirely separate meetings: a positioning statement, a vision statement, and a value prop canvas. We will audit these unaligned drafts, diagnose the specific failure points, and mechanically engineer effects. A product relying on unaligned strategic documents will inevitably build the wrong features for the wrong market, guaranteeing its own failure. Before we can audit the ambitious vision or positioning statements, we need an empirical baseline. LedgerLite's value proposition canvas is the only document in this triad built from verified primary data. It comes directly from real customer interviews with freelance consultants. This canvas maps the raw interview data into 3 core components: the customer's top job, their top pain, and their top gain. The top job, highlighted here in blue, is the need to know exactly how much I can pay myself this month without guessing. The top pain, in red, is I don't separate business and personal spending well enough to trust my own numbers. And the top gain, in green, is the desire to feel confident I won't be blindsided by a tax bill. This specific combination of job, pain, and gain is the baseline reality of the LedgerLite customer. If the strategy is aligned, these exact blue, red, and green empirical truths must mechanically drive all other documentation. Let's bring the founding team's draft positioning statement to the testing floor. We can test the draft text against our verified customer data. The draft reads, "For freelancers who need accounting help, LedgerLite is a bookkeeping tool that makes finances easier. Unlike other tools, we're simpler." When we run the color mapping test, looking for the specific job, pain, and gain, the scan yields 0 matches. The test fails entirely. The target audience word freelancers is highlighted in flat gray. This is far too broad compared to the specific freelance consultants identified in the interviews. The phrases "makes finances easier" and "simpler" also show up as flat gray. These are vague benefits and weak differentiators. They completely ignore the actual pain of separating spending or the job of calculating self-payment. A positioning statement that fails to reflect verify customer pain guarantees the product is positioned for an audience that doesn't actually exist. We discard the failed positioning and move to the team's draft vision statement. The draft vision states, "Our vision is to build the most feature-complete financial platform for all small businesses, with invoicing, payroll, tax filing, and banking integration." We run the color mapping test again. The scan yields 0 matches. The specific customer reality is entirely absent from the vision. The phrase "all small businesses" lights up in a warning orange. This becomes obvious when we look at the trailing feature list: invoicing, payroll, tax filing, and banking integration. Founders often believe expanding their target market makes the vision stronger. But for LedgerLite, this massive scope creep is a fatal weakness. The vision has devolved into a mere feature list, offering software categories rather than a resolution to the underlying need of knowing how much I can pay myself. An ambitious, feature-complete vision for a broad market actively sabotages a product built for a highly specific freelance niche by introducing unnecessary technical dependencies. To correct the drift, the team must rewrite both documents by reverse engineering them directly from the value proposition canvas. Here are the newly revised positioning and revised vision statements side by side. When we run the color mapping test on the revisions, the vibrant blue representing the job snaps perfectly into both texts, mapping directly to the phrase, "shows you exactly what you can safely pay yourself." The vibrant red representing the pain snaps into both texts, targeting users who don't have a separate business bank account and offering to auto-separate spending. Finally, the vibrant green for the gain snaps seamlessly into the promise that users will never be blindsided by a tax bill. Notice the newly introduced mention of the competitor QuickBooks in the positioning statement. Naming this specific competitor sharply highlights LedgerLite's exact differentiator, providing financial certainty without requiring deep accounting knowledge to configure. And neither of these revised, highly effective documents relies on listing product features. Mechanically sound strategy documents don't promise features. They guarantee outcomes derived directly from verified customer evidence. What would have happened if LedgerLite skipped those initial customer interviews? Without that empirical evidence, their entire product roadmap would have been built on their assumption-based, misaligned drafts. Aligning strategy is not an academic exercise. It must strictly dictate the company's immediate execution metrics, like their next quarter's OKRs. Our audit aligns the documents into a single cohesive stack, pointing directly toward execution. Derived from verified data, the OKR objective is to make freelance self-payment completely frictionless. The accompanying key result is to increase users automating self-payment within 7 days from X to Y. If they had followed their unaligned vision, their OKRs would likely be focused on building a bloated payroll feature instead. True product strategy alignment is not about writing inspiring corporate words. It is a mechanical process of ensuring the actual customer reality survives the journey into your vision, positioning, and execution.